Thank you so much, DC, of course, for the time. And then our host for today is, of course, Sil. And then just a reminder to everyone to remain on mute so that our presenter can actually, of course, share his knowledge with Axie without any cuts. But if you have any questions, feel free to use the English text box. And then, of course, after the demo of Axie, you can also unmute to ask your questions. So take it away so much.
Of things from DC, and I hope you guys have prepared your questions for our speaker since he will be able to answer most of them. Okay, DC, if you mind, you can actually start introducing yourself, your background on Axie, probably which games you played before Axie, and what led you to playing Axie.
All right. By the way, guys, hello. Good
Bro,
evening.
your
I
screen is
am.
still on Altab, I think.
Is it? Is it still black?
Yes. There you go.
All right. So, by the way, I am DC boy. I am DC. I started Axie Infinity last July, so it's been like half a year already playing this game. And I started as not like a competitive player. I just saw it from one of my instructors in my flying school, and I was really like interested when I saw it because I feel like it's something that I could probably enjoy. And yeah, I got like two teams from him, and then that's where like we started with my brothers. And since you probably know that in those months, Axie Infinity is more of like a PvE sided game. I mean, there's still like an arena, but most people are maybe focusing on PvE more because it's where you can gain a lot of like SOP during that time. And the teams that we were playing were ABPs during that time, and I feel like it's probably one of the best like comps for the PvE as well during that time. So after I think after like 1 or 2 months, I decided to stream it on Twitch because I was a streamer on Twitch. I started streaming on Twitch December 2020 because of the pandemic, and yeah, which was actually the birthday of my dad during that time, and I just tried it. So I started streaming Genshin Impact. I'm not sure if you guys know that. So I started streaming Genshin Impact for a few months, and then the game kind of like slowed down for me because I got like capped somehow in like after a few months, and then I was looking for another game to stream. So it led me to streaming Axie Infinity, and I feel like that's the time when I got like more members of my community, and since then everything was really great. But if I were to tell you, I'm not really like a competitive player before because I only had like one specific team because most of the teams that I was playing like I only played one team, and then the teams that we're trying to breed we just give it to our scholars. And at some point I was playing ABP and I just got stuck at around like 2000 MMR, I think. And then after like season 18, that's the time that I got the like boost to the community from Twitch, and like good people were able to like support me, like lend me some access as well. And then that time I decided that by season 19 I'm gonna try to push for the leaderboards, and everything went great. I actually finished the leaderboards at top 200, I think. So it's pretty good. I wish I could have pushed for more, but it didn't really went well on the end. So I think my peak MMR during season 19 was around 3,600 to like 3,700 MMR. and my pick rank was like I got like top one in the early weeks of the season, and then top two in like the mid season. Mhm. Oh, all right, all right, and then yeah, at the latter half of the season, I was just ooh. So if I click my game, I think it goes black. Mhm. I wonder how I do that. Like, is that in the options of the Streamlabs? This this one is that better? There you go. All good. All right. All right. Back to where I left. Yeah, at the latter half of the season 19, I was constantly in and out of the leaderboards, and yeah, and then I ended up at like 204. The funny thing is, I stopped playing like 6 hours before the season ended. I was around 150 back then. When I woke up like 5 minutes before the season ends, I was already at top 200, which is very funny. And I tried to climb back to like 190, but the game, I didn't get kept up with anyone, so it's really funny. And then I ended up at 204, I think. So yeah. And by the way, I also like participated on like different tournaments. I got second place in the Mysterium Series C Cup, and then first place in the MT8 Invitational. So the MT8 Invitational is the charity tournament for the Typhoon Odette, I think, and like recently. So that's pretty pog because they actually did it for like the victims in the Philippines, but we were able to grab it as well. So it's really like it's a very good thing that that one happened. And yeah, so after that one, now we're in the off season. We're trying like different stuff, but we're also trying to focus on figuring out other team comps that we might be able to play for the competitive scene, and hopefully in the future, like for season 20. So yeah, I guess
Um,
that's my introduction for you guys.
for season 19, which lineup are you trying? Is this the one projected on your screen right now, or do you have a
Oh
different lineup that you are testing right now for season 19?
yeah. So this is the lineup that I am practicing right now. I call this the horny team. But for season 19, I played like I think 2 to 3 teams. So the most consistent teams that I played at the end of the season is the discard team, the discard bug, and the shrimp nator. I don't have the God Mech, the one with the backdoor twin tail furball, but that one is pretty good as well. If you're able to use that, and the double plant is also nice. Like there's two variation of it, but I didn't like the gameplay that much because it's a bit slow. So I went for this one. For this two. So I also played a lot of like anemones before. Um, I feel like I'm a bit good with anemones. So yeah, and yeah, those are probably team comp. I also have this. Like this team comp is used for burning like 60 energy, especially off stream. Wait, the quickies because this is a BMP lineup, and BMP lineup plays like a lot of games. You finish games in like rounds 4 to 6. You finish it fast, either you win or you lose fast. So it's pretty good if you're burning a lot of like energy. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Alright. So I'm assuming that maybe let me just give a background to everyone. Maybe there's like a lot of like new people here. So basically, the game is played with um, three axes, right? And then each axis has four card sets, and one deck. Like the game is played starting with one deck. Like one deck consists of like two cards of each. So basically, that's like 24 cards because it's gonna be eight each. So 8, 16, 24. And then in the first hand, you get like seven cards with three energy. And every round, you get three cards and two energy. So it's a cycle of how the cards are like cycling, I would say, until you get to the second deck. So for this like boot camp, my goal is to actually just show you guys which team comps that I think would probably still be good, even if the nerfs like come. I don't have the other team comps that I actually want to show you, but the team comps that I would probably show you guys tonight, like at least play one game of each, is the double discard bug with a Pocky Aqua, and then Shrimp Nater with a mech, probably a double plant as well, and lastly the anemone. So this anemone has cottontail, but I'm just gonna show you guys this anemone later because I feel like more people would be able to relate on this one because this one is a bit rare. Like as far as I know, like I don't see much people using this except me. So we're gonna try to go for this. So I'm gonna try to show you guys like four team comps probably. This one is like pretty. I mean, if you guys want to see this as well, it's fine with me. This one, I'm gonna show you probably a replay of my games. This one is pretty interesting because of the horns, but not everyone is probably gonna be able to build this anyway. So, and I still have like a lot of things to improve here that I might be able to share to you guys later because I've been playing this for like probably like 3 to 4 days now, and as I play it, I learn what are the weaknesses and strengths of this team comp. So I guess we could start with the double bugs. So I'm gonna tell you the double bugs. So my double bugs might be the what other people would say the pay to win bugs. I don't have the 31 or 32 speed ones. So the one that I have is like 37 speed bugs. You can opt for having slower bugs. It's fine. So I have these 37 bugs for like um whenever I play with people in the like higher MMR as well, because everyone is like using double bugs, and I need to get a bit of an advantage over my opponent. And the advantage that I figured out is using 37 speed bugs, because if you face like double discard as well, and then you have a 37 speed bug, you're gonna kill them before they even hit you or something like that. And the reason why I put this at like the front one to be faster initially is I want this guy to utilize its last stand. So if you come to think about it, bugs usually has like 3 bars, right? If I'm not mistaken, the morale that you need is like 38, I think, for 3 bars. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I remember. So in order to utilize the 3 bars for the last end, I need to put this in front such that if this one enters last end, I could still use this and then I could still use this. So basically, I am using cards here and like killing probably an opponent while I'm on last end and being able to use this as well. So that's one of the reasons. And not much people are using like um, cute bunny in higher elo. That's why it's fine with me even if this one is faster. So I'm not scared of being fear locked, I would say. And then at the back, we have a balloon Pocky Aqua. There's like a lot of options for you to play with this one. You could either go for like Hero, Spike Wing, but I feel like the balloon is the most flexible one. The most important part here is the koi and the Pocky. For the mount, you could either go for Lamb, and if you're really on a budget, you could go for a Risky Fish. Alright. So let's test this one out in the arena. If you guys have any questions, take note of that. I usually try to see everyone chatting while I'm playing, but I guess it's a different like scenario, so we're just gonna go forward with this. Oh, by the way, my current MMR is 2194, currently at top 250. So I played a while ago. So let's do it. All right. Why are we match up against an anemone? All right, this is actually all right. This is not a good matchup, but we're gonna try our best to still win this. Uh, so our game plan for this is to actually win this one with our aqua. So best case scenario is we clear this guy while our aqua is dead. But if our aqua dies, our best option, I mean, our best case scenario is these two guys are already dead, because it's gonna be hard for us to at least 1v2 these two using our mid aqua, even if this one has a scarab, right? So for this one, we're just gonna pass because we can't really do much about this guy. Hopefully we get pincers so that we could reduce his hand size. So we're gonna try this. So that hopefully the best case scenario that could happen here is if we actually discard his dark soup so that he doesn't have any access to this, or basically discard his, let's say, blackmail so that he can pass the aroma here. So we're gonna try to do that. And then so the reason why I'm doing this is because we don't have much cards yet at the back. We're gonna try to solve more our early game so that we get cards for our backline. Like hopefully we get our damage cards so that we can one shot this guy, and probably Koi to avoid the egg bomb as well. So we're just gonna solve this. The sandal doesn't give much help to us in this game because this guy is just gonna heal it. All right, that's kind of bad because it went to the top. So as you can see here, this they actually fixed the card counter right now. As you can see right now, our opponent has 9 cards. So whenever the round starts, like for example it's round 3, just look at this and then that's the amount of cards that your opponent has. Considering the amount of cards that you also like discarded, and the amount of card that your opponent actually used to. So in this scenario, since it's already round 3, it's not like attacking anything. It's probably saving up like cards here for a backdoor. Probably that's probably the one that he's trying to do now, because it's actually his win con. If he kills this guy, we're kind of dead, right? So we're just gonna try to speed up here, put a scarab here so that he doesn't heal, and hopefully we get cards for this guy to finish this off afterwards. All right, that's a bad crit. So I said that it's a bad crit because if he didn't crit there, we're not gonna take damage here. So this guy used 1 card here. He has 10 cards now. So we're pretty sure that this guy still has 7 cards from his like first deck. So that's a lot of cards. And considering the amount of energy he has, he used 2 here. He used 2 here as well, 1 of each. So that's like 4. 7 the previous house. So he has 5 right now, and he can actually defend this one. So what we're gonna try to do is try to kill this guy, and then defend here 1. All right, so he can actually do another dark soup here, which is pretty bad for us. And he has a lot of cards. So this would deal a lot of damage to us as well, because he's on an Angry Lamb range. So that's pretty bad. So what we need to do now, because this one is pretty tough, I would say we have to pass here, because even if we try to do this and he kills us here, there's no really point for us to like deal damage here and waste our cards. And if we do this and he actually just heals here, we would not have like enough cards for the next round to actually defend 2. So basically in this like scenario, the win con that I am seeing is to either 1v2 this 2 with this one or with this one. So hopefully he kills this guy and we don't take damage here. Alright, he actually went further back. So he didn't get energy there. He has like 7 energy now and he used 5. So he still has 4 here with 7 cards. So that's actually a lot. So at this like point, he's probably thinking that we're gonna use an aesthetic bait because he has a lot of like energy and cards and we're just gonna discard it. So might as well just deal damage to him and use this one. Really, I would take the risk of like doing this because he could actually just pass here. But since we have like a lot of cards, he might be assuming that we're just gonna aim for a discard here. So we're just gonna use our cards here and hopefully he attacks us. Alright, he didn't. So most likely on the next round he's actually gonna attack now. Or he's gonna use an egg bomb. So in this like scenario, the problem that we have right now is that if he uses an egg bomb, we can kill him. Right? And that would be tough for us. So I am thinking of just reducing his hand size right now. So the term hand size is the amount of cards he actually has on his hand. And we don't know anything about it because it's probably the second deck as well. That's the tricky part when using his card comp. Because if you try to think about which card is gonna be in the first deck or in the second deck, you won't actually be able to like confirm it. Because you might have been discarding the cards in the first deck and it's already the second deck. Alright, I guess that's the game for us. Alright. That's a bit sad. It's really tough for us to win against like anemones because the win con of anemones is to go backdoor and just kill this guy. So basically we need to put a lot of pressure on our opponent a while ago, but I can't put much pressure because the cards that we have are sandals and it's all about RNG on where it goes. So another like option that we could have done is to use like a lot of like discard cards early as soon as we get it. We try to do that. That's what discard cards in round 2. Another thing that we could have done as well is just use the cards in front. So when you use the cards in front and then you actually were lucky enough to to attack the bottom like anemone, he's now forced to heal and he might not be able to set up his backdoor. So the option that we could have done. So still, do you want me to play this comp more or do you want me to try another comp?
Actually, you can still play that comp. Maybe since we have faced a while ago a direct counter to your composition, maybe we can face something easier next term.
All right.
Next time or what?
It's
Then
just
maybe.
let's try to pray that
Yeah.
we don't face an anemone right now. Usually I don't face anemones that much like a while ago, but hopefully we got it.
There's a request here on the English voice chat that you should also
Uh-huh.
use your quickie lineup, since
Oh, you guys want the quick lineup?
everyone is actually fond of your team names. It is actually witty.
Oh, all right. All right. Sure.
And I'm actually really excited about the horny lineup.
All right. I'm going to show you a very good game from that for that later. All right, for this one, since this guy has a vegetal bite, one option that I could do is just use these cards. So there's an option for me to not use this, but most likely since we are a discard team, we are forcing him to attack in round 1. So we're just gonna try to take like utilize the value of our frontliner right now. Hopefully we don't get like serious, and hopefully he actually attacks somewhere here, right? So our goal for this like scenario is to save like 4 energy, 4 cards for our backline, such that when this one opens up, we just kill it with our aqua. All right, that's a good pass for him. He didn't go through my shield. That's pretty good. And he knows that we're down with energy right now. So most likely this guy would be thinking that, oh, this guy would either attack or actually save energy because he can probably kill us. I mean, kill like our front liner, right? So right now we have the option to pass here. So we can do this, but I don't want to waste the anesthetic bait, and I don't want to use this alone because we can't even kill it. So it's not like a good chance for us to use cards there, right? And usually I don't want to use the Thunderclaw in this like scenario because I want to use the Thunderclaw on my mid guy when I kill this guy so that I'm pretty sure I am discarding cards for this too. Alright, he did pass again. This guy is in trouble right now. Most likely he's gonna use his cards here. So we can stick with our plan that we still don't use our cards at the back and we try to kill this guy with 2 energy. Like we could do this, get the combo damage there, or we could also try to do this, like risk this and hopefully he doesn't deal much damage because the damage of this is like 158, 158. It's gonna be like 300. He's probably gonna use a tail slap in the middle. So best case scenario, we enter last end here and we're able to shoot 1 attack. So since the damage of this is around like 137, we're gonna try to use this one first for combo damage. So we're aiming to kill this guy and save 4 energy for the back now. Alright, that's pretty good for him. That's a good move. Because he needs to defend this because he knows that he doesn't have speed control here. Alright, that's 2 steel energy. So that is 6 energy for him on the next. We could just use this, it's fine. And then I think we could pair 1 more round. But the problem is this guy is very hard to beat later. So I think we need to put pressure on him right now. We do this. We don't really need to use this. Pass this round. You're gonna enter last and if we use this too. Alright, let's try this. So the goal for us to win this game is to actually kill this guy while this guy is still alive. Because we want to 1v2 this guy. So for us to do that, five energy in the next. Or energy here. We're not gonna go through his shield. He's gonna put up high shield here. So most likely he's gonna use this Axie to kill this guy. So the importance of having a balloon is that we're pretty sure that this guy would only be using 3 cards to damage this guy. And if that happens, most likely we're gonna enter last stand here. Like hopefully. Alright, we don't take damage at the mid. That's pretty good. Alright, how much energy is he actually at right now? I stopped counting. Wait. Let's try to do this. How much shield can he actually make? He used 2 cards. That means his maximum shield is 30 plus 20, 20. So this is gonna be like 80 plus like another 20. So that's gonna be 88 plus 20, 108. We need to one-shot this guy. And then we need to defend here. We don't want to use this yet. Alright, he's doing it smartly now. We don't want to use this yet, because if we use this, we might be discarding cards from that guy. Alright, we try to reduce this guy's hand size right now. So the problem right now, this guy might be able to like tiny catapult on us, and we're gonna take damage here as well. So he has 7 cards right now. Most likely he's gonna use 4 cards here. We're gonna discard 2 cards, so his hand size on the next round would be 4. That's the best that could happen for us. So I'm trying to use the balloon here such that that balloon would probably reduce his chances of one-shotting this guy this round. I think he has a lot of energy, so it is a big problem. We're also gonna take 214 damage here. Alright. We're not really on a good spot right now, because the tiny dino would actually hurt us later. So probably the win con that he saw a while ago is to actually 1v2 us. That's why he just saved cards and energy for this guy, which is very smart, right? Alright, now it's back to like 4 cards. So he already used like double Tiny Dino and 1 Bulkwork, so most likely he has Tiny Catapult here and Kotaro. So this is the perfect round for us to deal our highest amount of like damage, in my opinion. Hopefully he doesn't he didn't get the Bulkwork. He probably has 1 more Bulkwork here, but we don't have any other option. Anyway. Whoo! Alright, he has 1 Bulkwork. That's painful. Great! Alright. I think we're dead. Alright. That's really hard one. That reptile is like hard to match. So maybe the one that we could have improved during that game is to take risk on assuming he's not gonna defend on his like mid liner, because he was able to see how hard it is for us to actually kill his like back liner. So as I said a while ago, our win con in that game is try to make sure that he actually doesn't have like cards on his backliner. So in the round where we actually like a balloon and double parasite, the best case scenario there is if we actually were able to get a lot of like pincer during that round. So that is also the reason why I said a while ago that we should have saved the pincer when the front line dies, so that we're pretty sure that we're discarding cards on his like midline and backline. And maybe one of the things that we could have improved as well is killing the front line immediately, so that his mid liner is like open earlier too. And like the 2 series actually backfired on us a lot on that game, because we were behind by probably 1 round after. So yeah. I guess the games on the discard bugs were like pretty straightforward. Like honestly, I suggest people to try the discard bugs if you guys are just trying to start the game, because I feel like discard bugs are one of the most like flexible teams to play. It's also like it doesn't consume much time playing. So some tips that I could have give you right now, maybe that I wasn't able to tell during the game, is when you're playing discard bugs, usually if your front liner is not tanky enough, usually you just try to use cards in front. You usually decide not to use cards in front if your opponent has cattail. Other than that, usually try to use your cards in front, and take into like consideration that you should also try to save cards on your mid liner, especially Pincer. So the reason why you want to save cards on your mid liner is such that when the guy dies, you want to utilize the cards that you have for your mid liner, so that when you actually attack on your mid liner and this guy is open, you try to utilize the shield that you have for your mid liner. So that is another way of approaching games. Like when you approach games, you just don't try to like throw cards. At some point, you have to consider the amount of shield that you actually waste or could have used when you are like playing cards. Like let's say some people are using like bone sail in the mid, right? So most likely people wouldn't use the bone in the mid. In the same like instance that you actually want to utilize its shield and its utility. So something like that. Um, and sometimes you can actually like skip rounds and like when if you guys were able to play like aqua kois, you have to remember that aqua kois are like very powerful. Like they're probably the most flexible and like like probably one of the highest skilling actually in the game because aqua kois can actually 1v2 your opponents as long as you know how to set up stuff like play with like speeds, one shot to your opponents, read how much cards actually is actually being used by your opponents. You could actually use your aqua to come back from a game that your opponent might have thought that he already gotten. So I wish I could have shown that, but usually when you're trying to play with that scenario, you try to save your coins and you want to cycle all your cards. Like save up probably like 5 to 6 cards such that when you cycle it, you actually get like every round you get around more than half of your like cards, and that's how aqua kois actually win games. And sometimes you also pray that you get your koi back if you don't get your full deck on the next round. So it's part of the RNG as well. So I guess that's it for the discard bug. I wish we could have won, but I really want to show you guys the other teams as well. So I'm just trying to show you what are the team comps that are that are actually being played commonly right now, and probably later as well. I would give you more options on how you could build this team for like cheaper options, the one where you can like substitute for this current part, this current card set or something like that. So still, are you still there? Alright. Um, I could if you want the quicker one, I could do this. I could use the shrimp one because that's more like common right now. But if you guys really want this, I could use this. This one, all right. This one is kind of fun. Really like I played this before with this plant. I usually play that with this plant, but I was able to snipe this one, and this one looks fun. So maybe we try to use this. So the idea of the quick is that we hope that which game we either win games fast or lose games fast. So let's try to do
Well,
this. So
mhm.
mhm. All right. Mm-hmm. So probably the most flexible team and most annoying team right now is the double aqua or the aqua, the one with the sandal. I mean Arco Nemo on the mid line. I actually have that before, but I did sell it. Let me try to see. Oh, I don't have it anymore. It's not here anymore. So yeah, that one with the double aqua. Wait, I think I could show you guys at least so that you guys have an idea. Mm. And this one is something that you could think of as well. Stars. All right, I think I could. Wait, can I actually share it? Uh huh. Let me see if I could share it. Can you guys see it now? All right. So this is the aqua that I have in the before the season ended. I was able to snipe this. So this one is one of the most annoying aquas right now. So you either pair this with a backline aqua as well, or the one that people are actually using, the Indus bird. So let me just show you so you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is the Indus bird. This card set. Of course, this would be like at 59 speed. This one is a bit cheaper because I think it's not the fastest one. All right. So this is the Indus bird. When you pair it with that, that's pretty good. But I feel like this is the most flexible partner with that. So you get an aqua. You could go for the straightforward one, which is the balloon. So the important one is that you have a koi, and then maybe you have a balloon. The other option is a spike wing or a hero, or some other build is like a cuckoo. But this one is the I think the most flexible one. So as you can see, I'm trying to look for cards which are producing 120 damage because that one is the best. But you could also offer other cards like Angry Lamb or Showstar if you're really on a budget. But this is usually the one that you want. So this is the team that I actually plan to practice soon after the Horny comp, because this one is pretty good as well in tournaments. So you can build around this if you guys want, and then you could also build like change this part with a cuckoo, and then change this one to, let's say, like a goldfish or a blue moon. So that's how you can build it. So the thing that is like very good with this comp and the Arco one is that both of them can actually carry your game in the late game. Like if this one is backdoored, you still have an opportunity to win with that other guy because both of them has speed up. So both of them are very flexible. So when you come to think about it, the reason why Aquas are very good in the late game is that because they can carry games because of the speed up. So that's why I feel like this is more flexible than the Indus bird or the one that I showed you a while ago. Because the Indus bird doesn't actually have a speed up, right? But it's still pretty good because it deals high damage too. So this one. All right. Does that answer the question? All right. All right. All right. Let's try to play a couple of games with this. So the fun thing about this comp is that if you face a bird and then we get a turnip, that's the best thing that could have happened in this world. So yeah, this one is a bit tough. So this guy also has a cattail, right? In this like scenario, I try to do the math if I could like try to burst this guy. So I could deal like 140, 131, 180 plus 120. I could deal 502 damage to this guy. And if that is successful, we could have set up stuff for this guy too. So that is a very big risk because this guy could also use a cattail, right? So since this is the cards that I got, I'm just gonna hope that this one actually works. All right. That's also a very good card for him because if we defended in front, our mid liner and our back liner are both dead. So we both gamble there, and he still has like 3 energy on the next one. Hopefully, he actually have cards here. So he actually has 2 cards there because as you can see right now, he has 3 cards here, right? That means he left this guy with 2 cards. So he has 4 energy. I mean 3 energy. We could use this, but it's gonna be risky. Most likely he's gonna kill us with 2 cards anyways, right? And putting this shield doesn't make him kill us with 3 cards. So there's really no point on using this unless we consider the amount of shield that he has. I mean cards. So we're just gonna try to use this. Alright. So hopefully we get cards here. The best case scenario here is to actually get an egg bomb here. Because if that happens, we could actually save this guy and deal a lot of damage to this guy. This guy also doesn't have a speed up. It's probably gonna speed up here. If we do this, this is gonna be 138 plus 171, right? So that's gonna be 276 plus 171. So that's gonna be around 450 damage. I think he could still shield that with 2 of these and 1 of these. And I really don't want to. I think I wanna gamble this one instead. Alright, that's pretty good for him. He was able to kill us. He actually overcommit that one if you come to think about it, right? And then he already used like 1 upstream, and he still have like 6 cards here. So he might be assuming that we're gonna kill this guy now. Because he knows that we don't have energy here. So best case scenario, we kill this guy, we use a balloon on this guy, I think. Alright, we go for this now. That's a lot of shield. This one would also die. So in order for us to win this game, our best case scenario is to actually kill this guy and save up like 4 energy here, which is very like hard to like. It's I would say it's hard to like happen because this guy has 5 cards left, and he still has 5 cards in hand. So most likely he has all his cards here. And if he actually attacks us now, most likely he's gonna speed up. So we just have to pray that maybe he forgets to click cards here. Because we don't have any other option right now, to be honest. Alright. Alright, that's another risk that we took, which is pretty bad. Because honestly, alright, let me try to watch the game for you again. Sheesh! That's a lot of defeat. I'm just gonna share you the reasoning why I wanted to defend this guy instead. Which might not be the best. It's just oh, I actually skipped it. So this guy actually used like he was assuming that I'm gonna kill this, right? If you come to think about it, he assumed that I'm gonna kill this guy in the previous round. As you can see, wait, let me check if he has cards. I just wanna make it like more validating for you guys. So I'm gonna try to share my thought process in that. I think it was it this round? Yeah, it was this round. No, the next round. So this round, this is the round that I was assuming that he still has cards here, right? So what I did is to actually defend this guy, and hopefully he just uses like 2 cards. Because if he used 2 cards in this like scenario, like look at this. If he probably used like 2 cards here, I think he could use this one. This would be 105 plus 171. So we could have lived if he only used like 2 cards, and we could have dealt like a lot of damage here. And in that next round, he's only forced to kill me with 2 cards again because he needs to speed up. So that's my thinking right here. Because he was expecting me to kill this guy. And if I kill this guy, guys, what's gonna happen on that round is that all the cards would actually be on this guy. So what I'm trying to do right now is try to split his cards. All right, so let's just think about what could have happened here if I actually live here. If he only used the risky fish and this one, so that's gonna be like 171 plus 105 damage. So that's gonna be like 276, right? So if I leave that with like 20 HP, this guy would probably take like 179 plus 80 damage. So that's gonna be 260 plus. So he's gonna be left with, let's say, 50 or like 40 HP. So on that next round, what I'm gonna try to do is to actually kill him with one card with my bird and actually finish this guy off, right? So what I could have done in that, like, because whenever you are playing, guys, you should always try to think like 1 or 2 rounds ahead of what could have happened, like what you want to happen at least if these things turn out well. So if that turned out well, I killed this guy with like one card, or like maybe I use one card in a balloon and like use extra damage from my midliner to reduce his HP again and kill him on the next one after that. Like on the like round 5, I actually kill him with my bird. That's like the best case scenario that could have happened for us. But we take gambles in this game, and we had a shorter stick in this late game. So I hope you guys was able to see what I'm trying to explain right here, because it's really hard for us to win against a Koi, because he's just gonna try to speed up every round. And once we kill this guy, he's just gonna funnel all his cards here again. And we're pretty sure that he's still gonna get one koi after this, right? Because
Streaming
he,
dah di sini.
sorry. All right. Do you
Mana di
have like
sini buat
any questions for that? All right. All right. All right. Let's try to play one more game here. Hopefully, we get our first win on stream. Mhm. Um, I feel like I have advantage on the lineups with double plant and a bird, especially if I have, because usually when you play against a double plant and a bird, my bird is usually faster than his bird because this one is a 61 speed. And then I could set up like an egg bomb to finish off with the turnip play. So something like this that we could try is to actually pass this round, and hopefully we could perform um, a turnip play here. So in order to kill this guy, we need a turnip and one more damage card, because this guy is lower than us, right? Since this guy is lower than us, we get the extra 20% damage. So we don't assume that. I mean, we assume that we don't get the extra 20% damage. We only damage him by 150, if I'm not mistaken. So like 150 would be the damage that we're gonna do. We could also use this and try to kill this front, but we're gonna try to utilize this guy. All right, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. He still has 3 energy on the next. So the bad thing here is um we can't use our mouth, so we can't. Oh we are not AFK, sir. All right, we need to click on cards right now because they are considering that we are AFK. So in this scenario, he actually used 3 cards. So most likely he's gonna use a balloon here. So what we're gonna try to do, and hopefully it doesn't like speed up, we're gonna try to use one of these and this one. So his maximum shield here is like double aqua stock, and the damage here is 360 plus 1 for 131. So that's gonna be like 490 plus 110, like 600. So we're gonna try to use one more balloon here. All right. I think that's a double nut again. Hopefully we don't die here yet. And then we become faster than this guy, but this guy is still faster than us, which is a bit bad. So the good thing about this one is we have the opportunity to kill this, right? We could do this and hopefully kill him. So let's check the amount of shield that he could make. He still has double arco. That means that his maximum shield would be like 500, like 520 EHP. And that means the damage that we could have done here is 118 plus 118 plus 131 plus 141. So that's gonna be 508. And in order for us to secure that, we actually need to use one balloon. Because he might balloon us here. Or he might actually use an egg bomb after this. Alright. He actually lowered our damage. That's pretty big, I would say. But I guess that's still fine. So in this like current game right now, there's no way for this guy to win, right? So we're just gonna pass and kill him with like 4 energy and 4 cards on the next. So like if you come to think about it, we have the speed advantage here, which is 61 speed. This guy only has 59 speed. So there's no way for us to lose this game as long as we pass this game. Right? So we're just gonna pass this game, let him like kill this guy, and then we get like 3 extra cards here and kill him on the next one. And the maximum damage that we could do here is to actually use the Risky Feather, remove the debuff, get the Egg Bomb, and do this. So he should be dead here, hopefully. So this is like 170, 171, 138. That's 340 plus 130, 470. That's like 20. So that's like 490 damage. So that should be enough. So we're kind of fortunate that he didn't use the egg bomb, because if he used the egg bomb, that might be a bit difficult for us. It's also unfortunate that the game recognized us to be AFK in round 2. But we're pretty lucky that we still won the game. So whenever like bad things happen in the game, just keep your heads up. Try to figure out the win con if you think that there's still a win con. And yeah, that's pretty good. I actually want to use the turnip. Like having to use the turnip is one of the most fun thing to do in this game, in my opinion, because you don't normally use it. So yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, by the way, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys are planning to build a turnip plant, so when you are planning to build a turnip plant, one of the considerations that you could do is when you try to build a turnip plant, make sure that when you use a turnip plant, most likely you want to kill an enemy's like bird with just 3 cards. That's like, or 3 energy, I would say. Like in this like scenario, that's why the turnip and the prickly trap is probably the best combo that you could get into the game, because even if you use like double turnip and a prickly trap, usually your opponent would die. But if you have like a turnip and low damage cards here, like at least for this one is like pretty low. The reason why I stick to this one is because this one is a 0 cost card and this one has very high utility. But in most cases, what you want to do is to get like a turnip, a cactus. I'm not sure if you've seen there's actually some turnip plants right now that are pretty good, where people use a turnip, an herbivore, and a prickly trap. That one is pretty good as well. And then you get like a cattle here for a 0 cost card. Because if you have like a turnip, an herbivore, and a prickly trap, you could still one shot your opponent's bird with that combo. Because as far as I know, you deal like 80 damage here and then like 94 damage here, and like maybe 150 at least here. So that's like 300 damage somehow, and hopefully you kill an opponent like bird with that combo. So that's like one tip that I could probably leave to you guys when you are planning to build a turnip plant. Like it's not, in my opinion, it's not good to use like a Sirius here because that would reduce the overall damage that you could have done on a turnip combo. So you might want to consider that as well. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good because if you come to think about it, somehow you don't really need an energy gain when you're trying to build a comp. So you can like take this like note as well that when you're trying to build a comp, usually like in this like current meta, what are the best things that you could have done is to actually build a comp with two zero cost cards. Like let's say you have a zero cost card in two of your axes. So basically that would alleviate the problem that you have with spending energy. And aside from that, you actually want like high damage cards. Like what I what I mean by high damage cards is that usually like axes like this bird, let's say this bird, this one that I have, this one could actually one shot an aqua, right? So that is like very big. Even if an aqua puts up like his maximum shield of like 120 around that value, you could still like kill it. Same with this other like um the Pocky one. This one. This could also one shot an aqua. So you can consider that. And the one that I shared to you, this one is also like in line with what you said. The one that I shared a while ago, the build that I feel like is very flexible, the mid aqua with Nemo, which is a zero cost card, and a backliner with the Indus Bird, which is somehow like this, right? Because I played this as well with that Nemo Aqua. It's pretty good as well. You just don't have a hair dagger, which gives you like beast damage and card draws. And then you also have the backliner Aqua, which I said that you might want to get like a zero cost card like Balloon, Spikey Wing, Hero, or even a Cuckoo or a Bidens. So that would like alleviate your hunger for like energy in the mid game. And people doesn't want like Sirius right now most of the time because Sirius is like a double edged like card. You don't guarantee like anything good with it, I would say. That's why people are trying to shift with, let's say, a Goda here. And like before, if you come to think about it, like double poison comps, they are using Sirius and Leaf Bug, right? Which is like hard energy gain. That's like uh, a sure energy gain from the Leaf Bug and a threat from the Sirius, which complements well with the Yam. But since the game has changed, people have been playing with a lot of like backdoors. People could just opt to skip that and go like for a game of like back to front instead of going from front to back. And then they could leave that guy at the front and kill it later because it doesn't really deal like much damage. And then since the meta has changed, people actually change those energy gains with like zero cost card. Like for example, for the leaf bug and the serious, people actually opted for like a Goda or actually opted for a pincer. A pincer and a parasite for the poison comps are very like popular right now because the thing that people are actually wanting as well as serious, it might be a double edged like card, right? But people like there's also a psychological part in playing the game, and having a serious actually puts like a threat on your opponent because if you're actually um being attacked by a Sirius and your energy is stolen and he actually gets his energy back, that's actually big. Like it's gonna favor his game likely, right? That's the importance of having a Sirius. And having a threat on your opponent is also like big part of building comps if you come to think about it. And that's what I would probably share as well later on my horny team. So I hope I answered some of your questions there. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm. 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 Buying. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. True. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So the funny thing is, I started this game with actually a ABP, right? So when I remember those times I actually like just trying to figure out when you are trying to play this game, you try to figure out your win con, right? And when you are playing, let's say an ABP or an AAP, actually like AAP is very good. I think the AAP is still good right now. You just have to I mean like tweak some parts with it and it's still gonna be crazy. So what you need to do when you are trying to play ABPs or AAPs is that, for example, for ABP, on an ABP lineup, excuse me, it's very important for you to count energy, right? That's what I learned when I started playing this game. I always need to count energy because the thing is when you are counting energy with an ABP, that means when your open plant opens up, all right, let's try to show something. So something like this. Assume that this is like a like your beast, right? So if you are counting energy and your frontliner opens up, like the one that I'm using before is actually Ronin double knot and an imp. So in that like certain like axis, when this guy opens up and you are pretty sure that your opponent is just having like two energy, you can always guarantee to use your mid liner. That is the most important thing that I could probably share to you guys if you are playing ABP. You always need to count energy because when you count energy, you know how much damage you could actually take and you know what are the safest route for you to do. And also, when you are playing an aqua at the back, it's not always smart to be faster than your opponent. Sometimes being slower than your opponent is one of the like tricks that you could do to win games, especially if your opponent doesn't have much energy. Because I here's the thing, like I remember when I was still like using the ABP and I was talking with my brothers, we always try to figure out what are the win cons when we are playing AAPs. If you were able to play an ABP against an AAP before, I'm pretty sure you would know how hard it is to like get that win con to win that game, I would say. Because usually, most of the time, if your frontliner dies immediately and you won't be able to use your um let's say your mech anymore, try to figure out your win con with your AO. Like you try to figure out, do I need to speed up this round? Do I just need to do chip shot on this guy? And then that's basically trying to compute how much energy your opponent has and how much he actually needs to win games. Like before, I remember it's very important for you to know how much damage your opponent could do. Like I remember when we were still playing, because the aqua that I have is actually an aqua with koi, shoal star, goldfish, and then riskafish. And most of the time, I lose to aquas with Oranda. The reason why I lose to aquas with Oranda is because Oranda provides more shield. And even if I use like 4 cards, I can't defeat that guy because they could probably make like 120 shield if I'm not mistaken, and I wouldn't have enough damage, I think, to kill that guy. So you always have to consider how much shield and how much like energy your opponent has. There's actually a good like game that I have a while ago where I figured out I could. So the term when you actually try to defend against your opponent's like full on attack is try to actually brick wall it. Let me show you a game that I had with my horny comp a while ago, which is a very big example on how you can brick wall an opponent's attack. So let's try to see this. Let's try to skip the defeats because it doesn't look good that much. So against this guy, um, in this like certain scenario, like when you start to play a game, you try to figure out your win con. So in this game, my win con is to actually kill this guy, right? Because if I kill this guy, my mid liner could actually win against this guy. So that's how I actually think about games. And his win con or my losing condition is for him to backdoor my mech, because this is where I pack a lot of like damage, right? So that is like his win con. He need to kill this guy because this guy could actually win against these two guys if he was left alone. So let's try to play this game. So in this game, in my round one, I got these cards. This one is pretty good because I am setting up like my backdoor here. I have 1 card here. Wait. Yeah. And then I don't have much cards here, meaning I could hope that I get like a lot of cards here to do a backdoor on this guy, right? So in round two, these are the cards that I got. This one is pretty unfortunate because at this point, if this guy gets like 4 like backdoor cards here, he can actually kill me. Like the one that he needs is to actually get 2 bird cards, because 2 bird cards deals like 158 damage each, and this one deals around 118 or 122 if I'm not mistaken. So he would be able to kill me at this point, and I can't even defend. And I won't defend here because I would risk too much cards. So in round two, I was just hoping he doesn't backdoor me yet. So in this round, I use a pumpkin. So the reason why I use pumpkin here is I am assuming he's not gonna attack me here. The reason why I use the pumpkin is to get more cards because I really need a lot of cards right now, especially for my backline, right? So I use pumpkin. It actually worked well right now, I think. Yeah, it actually worked well. I was able to utilize its utility. So I was able to get 1 card. Unfortunately, that's a scaly launch and that's in my front. So there's really not much value out of that. So on the next round, we hope we actually get cards here so that we could defend. So for round two, I didn't get my backdoor. So I actually got a scaly launch and another furball. So I still use this. The reason why I still use this is that this one is actually aligned with what we are trying to say a while ago when you are playing like ABPs or like AAPs, when you're trying to figure out how much damage you could actually take. Because if you come to think about it, if you check this one, so when you are trying to brick wall an opponent's attack, you always assume his maximum damage. You only try to defend if you could actually defend it, unless you want to risk on him doing an underplay. But in this certain scenario, I won't use my 3 energy and hope that he underplays me. So the damage of this guy is actually 158 times 3. That's his maximum damage. So that's gonna be 474. And a sneaker raid would actually deal, I think, 23 damage to me. So the damage that I have right now is based from experience, but you could also calculate it on your own. Like you take into consideration the bonus damage of like 15% and 10%. I wonder if I could show that on stream. But an easier way of for you to calculate damage is something like this. I'm gonna share you. I'm not sure if you guys have the Flowbot 44 extension. Let me try to show it. So maybe you guys that doesn't know it yet would be able to do it later on. Oh, not this one. All right, let me show you my screen. Show you my account because I have that Axie. This one, right? So this is called wait, where is my Flowbot 44? Wait. 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 My Flowbot 44 is missing. Anyways, a Flowbot 44 is an Axie extension where you could drag your cards to see the damage that you could do. Unfortunately, why is it not working? Um, Let me just show it to you. So it's this one. Ooh, that is so bright. It's called Flowbot 44, where you could drag your cards to see the damage that you could deal to the three classes that we have, like the three like groups that we have for the game. So you could install this as well. Or if where do I have the guide? Because there is also a guide where you can consider on how to calculate damage. But yeah, it's very important for you to know how much damage you actually deal on all of your axes. It might be hard at the start, but later on you need to know that by heart, in my opinion. And also, when you play, you can always have a calculator with you, which I always have as well, so that when you're pressured and you can do math on your like in your own mind anymore. You just use it here. So something like this, like you can see 508, right? So it's something like this. Like I know that's gonna be 158, right? And then another 23. So it's gonna be 497 for maximum damage in this like certain game. Let me show you. So that is his maximum damage, and then my HP is 402. So when I play these three cards, I am pretty sure that he cannot kill me because the shield that I'm gonna get here is 110 plus the extra 8 shield, I think, from the bonus from the juggling balls. So something like that. So I get 118 here because you get 10% extra shield if you actually use the card from the class that you are at. So that's gonna be like 50 plus 60 or something like that. And then you get extra shield from that. Alright. And then here it's fortunate that he doesn't have the backdoor yet. But he was able to draw a lot of cards. Like 7 cards I think. And I just opted to go for the front so that I could utilize my Axie here. So this one is pretty good. So on the next round, I still have like 4 energy. And this is the crazy part, right? Because I still know how much damage this guy could do. Remember the number that I said a while ago? This guy could deal 497 damage. And if you come to remember what I said about his win con is to actually kill this guy. Because if he just killed this guy, I would be left with my backliner and midliner, and that is just too much damage from him. He doesn't even have the Scaly Spoon to actually counter my Twin Tail and my Furball, so he definitely need to kill this guy. And at this round, after drawing a lot of cards from the Cattail, I am pretty sure that this guy would backdoor my backliner on the next. So what I did is something not normal, I would say. So if you see this, I actually got another Scaly Launch and 2 Sneaky Raids. If you come to think about it, it's not normal for someone to use these like 3 cards, right? But then I try to figure out how much damage I could do. I have 4 energy. If I do the math here, I deal like 34, 34, 165, and 163 here. So that would be like 328 plus, I mean, something like that. Plus like 34, 34, 34, 34, plus the poisons. So I was assuming he's gonna like pull on like probably use sticky rate and shield up here as well. So I needed to make sure that I used like all my extra zero cost cards to try to kill this guy and hopefully like brick wall it. Because if this guy actually happens to kill this guy, like he doesn't go for the back, I think that's still fine with me. Because I would just brick wall. I mean, I'm gonna try to buy time for this guy until I get cards here again to one shot this guy later on. So this is what I did here. And it's actually something what you call like brick walling. So as you can see here, he actually saved 1 card, which is actually his mistake. When you are playing something like this, and your win con is to actually just kill this guy, you have to assume that you need to put a follow-up to kill this guy, right? And he saved 1 energy. Actually, I would say there's no reason for him to save energy here, because he just really need to kill this guy to increase his chances of like winning. So let's see here. So if I were in his position, the best course of attack here is for him to actually play a sneaky raid, egg bomb, black whale, and egg bomb. So what that would do is to actually put an aroma here and get an aroma back, because he's trying to protect his backliner right now. If you come to think about this like set of attack right now, using the egg bomb at the last one is to actually get an aroma, so that he's pretty sure that he's not gonna be we're not gonna be able to backdoor his backliner, right? But one play that you could do is to actually give an aroma here and get an aroma back. I think not a lot of people actually knows that. That you could pass an aroma and get it back again, and then both of you has an aroma. So he could have done that. So right here, we were actually able to brick wall this. And this is something that you could also do when you are playing aquas. It's very important when you are playing this with aquas. Like when to know when to you can brick wall or not. And then that certain like round costed him the game already. And after that, I think it's the game for him. So yeah, so in like certain like games, being able to read how much damage, how much shield you need and your opponent could do is very big, especially in like very crucial games, right? It's gonna be easier for you to predict that if you know what your opponent would try to do, or if your opponent has 2 energy. So when you're trying to play the game, always bear in mind, when your opponent has 2 energy, you could probably see all the conditions that he could do in that game, because it's easier for you to calculate how much maximum damage you could actually take. That's why when you are playing games, and let's say in round 1 you actually use like 3 cards and you are left with 2 energy, your opponent could actually read if you can kill him or not. So that is like very big when you are playing this game. I'm not sure if I diverted too much from the question a while ago, Sil, but I hope somehow I actually answered the question too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right, go ahead. I'm actually fine with like exploring maybe the marketplace, or if some people are actually have questions, if what are the things that maybe they want to do if they have saved up money to buy this or that, or what are the team comps that I actually suggest on what they could probably build if they're just starting, I'll be glad to answer that because I have like some teams in mind. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. So let's start with people who are just starting the game. So in line with that, because I'm also running like a scholarship, right? So in this like certain in this period of like Axie Infinity, I actually do not suggest people to start playing the game without any knowledge. I think that's very risky for you to do. Like before you actually like, I mean it's not just for Axie Infinity, but probably like most of the games or any investment that you're gonna try to do. Like it would be best to try to learn a lot of stuff first before you go into it. So I think I actually have like a notepad here that I tell on stream. Let me share it because when I try to look like for a scholarship, I try to tell this to the scholar that they should know this before they try to do the scrimmages with us. Um, oh, oh, mm. All right, this one at least. So when you're trying to, before we go into the marketplace, I would say, oh, I'm too bright. Um, try to consider knowing this first. So it's very important for you to be familiar with all the cards in the game because you don't want to play the game and then you play in the arena and then you see that, oh, what is this thing? What does this do to me? Why am I stunned? Right? So you don't want that to happen. And having card familiarity is very important. And I could share you something that nice internet. All right. Too bright. I'm so sorry for that. Uh-huh. Hello, sir. Please load. Wait, what is happening? It's not actually loading. Is my internet gone? All right. All right. All right. So this is one thing that you could check. This is called axie.tech. Wait, yeah, axie.tech. Search for it. Familiarize yourself with it. There's like options for here that you could check. There's other like sites where you could also check it, but I would say like maybe go for this. Like let's say go for the aqua class. Try to familiarize yourself with the cards and make sure that at least before you try to build something, know the cards first. Like just read it. I think it's like most of it are straightforward anyways. And then I think a lot of like content creators would also be helpful for everyone, especially for those of you who are starting. Like before when I started the game, I remember I was watching like the likes of Mr. Cuckoo, Bryson, Elijah, and the others. Like it's very important for you to have your research on your own. And then we're like in this like period, we're fortunate enough that there's actually a lot of like content creators, which is also like live streamers where you can actually ask questions and hopefully they answer, like me. It's very like fortunate for everyone to have those people that they could reach as well. So make sure to check this one out if you guys are just starting. And then as I said, energy counting, it's very important as well. I feel like most people would be able to grasp this one like faster. Card counting is something that would build up on you as you play the game. So remember. In the first deck, there's only like 24 cards. when you see like when for example when an opponent plant already used like 6 cards and you're pretty sure that he's left with like 2 serious, most likely his maximum shield is only 66, right? So those are some considerations that might help you know if you actually have to like overcommit on like killing this certain opponent, or you actually just have to use the certain amount of damage that you know would be enough to kill this guy. Also, there's this concept of like split damage. So, for example, let's say you have a backliner and a midliner, right? And then your opponent has, let's say, 200 damage. If your backliner could deal like 200 damage with 2 cards, that's good, right? That's good. And then your midliner would do the split damage. Like let's say your mid damage would also deal like 100 damage. That is called a split damage, such that when your opponent front when your opponent plant actually tries to defend, you could do a follow-up damage to kill that one. So you can also take that into consideration if you haven't yet. And then we go for the damage calculation, which we actually showcased on the horny game. I mean the horny team game. And then the class advantage and disadvantage, this is pretty big. I don't have the link open. Oh, this one. All right. I can open it for you guys. So, something like this is very important when you are trying to master the axis that you have, right? So, if you see this like pattern right here, you have to remember the class advantage. Like, for example, the aqua has an advantage over this class. This one has an advantage over this class. So, as you can see here, you deal extra 15% damage when you have an advantage, and you take 15% less damage if you have an advantage of it. So that's very important. And if you guys also don't know, you also get extra damage if you use the same card from your class. Like, for example, if an aqua uses this one, you actually get extra 10% damage from it. That's why sometimes getting like a pure axie is also good because you get the most damage out of it. And for like special classes, it's different. Like special classes like mechs, dusk, and dons, though dons are not really used that much, which is very sad. They also get extra damage, but only 7.5% because they're very flexible because they can get bonus from the bug and the beast, but they only get 7.5 extra damage. So you might want to consider that when you're trying to tier craft on like axes that you could build as well, right? So, and then this is like the utility stuff, the speed and turn manipulation, which is very important for like starters, especially if you guys are starting with like koi aquas, which is pretty common when you're starting the game. And when you're playing with like terminators, which is also using lagging, that is a very important. Like, do you need to use like double lagging during this round or just one lagging? So it's gonna be important. And then the others would be based on experience, the approach on the game, like figuring out your like win cons. Do you have to go from front to back to front? Do you have to burst the front liner? Do you have to hold cards, hold energy? So like for example, when you guys are playing like AAPs, especially in the higher MMR, usually AAPs either attacks in round 1. If they do not attack in round 1, they usually attack in round 3. The reason, all right, this might not be that accurate, but the way that I understand it is that the reason why Aquas tend to attack in round 3 is that hopefully they have 7 energy during that round, right? And when they attack in round 3 and they just use like 5 cards, or they make sure that they have 4 energy on the next, when they burst your frontliner, that means they can just roll over you and kill the mid liner as well. That's why most like Aquas go like ham in round 3. You might want to consider that when you're also playing double Aquas. It would like give you an edge if the term is actually no turn, right? like in round 4, you no turn your opponent midliner. If you were able to hoard a lot of cards and energy for your midline and your backline. That's why some like this is how like a good friend of mine told me that somehow this is how Indes plays, right? Indes plays like sometimes he doesn't mind about his like front plant dying. He doesn't mind about that because he knows how to play well mid game and late game. He knows how to handle how much energy and cards he actually needs to figure out the win con to swipe his opponent continuously or something like that. So you might want to consider that in when you're trying to play. So I guess that's it for like starting the game. For starters, what I would usually try to suggest to play in this like current meta, because this current meta is a bit like different already from the past. Um, Let me show you my team comps. This is the team comps that I have. So this is based from experience. And saying based from experience is because I feel like some people would still be able to buy this at like a cheaper price. So the team comps that I actually suggest are the double discard bugs because I feel like the the bugs are a bit like cheaper right now, and I think you could build it and it could go a long way. Same with the anemones, like the version of this. So usually when you are playing with anemones, guys, people would always ask you like, should I go for should I go for Goda, should I go for Lamb, or should I go for Piranha? When you come to think about it, at lower MMR range, I always tell this to my viewers as well. The probably the easiest way to climb is to actually use the Lamb version. Because the advantage of using the Lamb version is low in lower MMR, or not in lower MMR, let's say starting MMR of 1200, is that most people are using the standard comps of having like 57 speeds. And having the Lamb version actually gives you the 57 speed, right? So at starting MMR of 1200, the Lamb version, or the pure ones that I would say, pure ones, even the Piranha one, would actually give you an edge. Because an opponent Aqua cannot chip shot you. If an opponent Aqua chip shots you and you both have like 57 speed, you would be faster on the next round and you can brick wall them and just heal. So that is the advantage of the 57 speed at starting MMR. Meanwhile, the Goda version with the Nemo actually has 55 speed. And with the 55 speed, it's not that it's not easier in the starting MMR because most likely you're gonna be slower than an opponent Aqua with 57 speed, but you have high utility. So it's still gonna be good. You can still use the Goda until you reach like 2k MMR. I am just like saying that the Lamb version might be easier for you to climb up to like let's say 1.5 to 1.7 until you face like double plants maybe. So that's gonna be a like an option for you to do. And when you are playing Anemone, I would suggest like at the very start you just get the hair dagger version because I use the post fight. It's still good. It's still good. Like the zero cost card advantage is very good because you were able to snipe an opponent actually with less energy needed. But the advantage of having a hair dagger is that you could win again against double plants. So when you are playing against double plants, your winning condition is for you to be able to enter the 1v1 against an opponent's plant with 6 energy. The reason why you want 6 energy, like for example, this guy dies and you are left with, like, this is the best case scenario, right? You are left with one plant, let's say an immortal plant. Let's say an immortal plant or this plant, right? An immortal plant or this plant. Your win con is to actually save 6 energy for this guy when this guy dies. And hopefully you get double hair dagger and double blackmail. So what would happen on that scenario is that for 2 consecutive rounds, you're gonna be able to dish out two 4 card combos, which would deal 288 plus 236, right? So that's your win con. That's why I would say if you're gonna start with an anemone build, start with the hair dagger immediately. The Nemo and the Lamb is dependent on how you actually want to play the game. But I would suggest if you're gonna start with anemone, start with the hair dagger. And also you also have to consider that there might be a chance that they actually nerf anemones. I don't know how they're gonna do it because they already nerfed them, but there's a chance that they nerf them. So just bear that in mind. Though I think that they're still gonna be good. So just bear that in mind. And then for the bugs, you could play with, I would say try to play with 32 speed bugs. The reason why I try to say that 32 speed bugs might be the best option for you is because 32 speed bugs would always be faster than the normal plants. Normal plants which are actually 31 speeds. So try to consider that when you're trying to build this. And then it's not bad if you actually play snail shell here. You could also do that. And then even like a garish worm or a buzz would actually work. And for your backliner, it's fine if you actually build it with I'm actually gonna show it. So let's try to make a budget like this is also for starters, right? Not just for experienced one. For experienced ones, you just have to take into considerations the facts that I am trying to say when I am trying to consider the builds right now. Um, so for the bugs, it's fine if you just try to stay at like 32 speed. 31 speed is not bad because most likely you're gonna be faster than an opponent plant anyways because your HP would be lower. I'm just saying 32 speed because I feel like if you're gonna spend anyways, just you might just want to try starting with a 32 speed at the start. And then if you're trying, all right, people might be thinking as well that bugs are kind of OP. They might be actually nerfed, but this is just my opinion. I feel like there is nothing nerfable with it, like in terms of the build, because it's the build that is actually good, not the Axie. If you have to think about it, when I come to think about like nerfs and buffs, I always think about that: is this actually broken or is the build actually broken? Like if you take something out of it, would it still be good? And in terms of the double bug and a Pocky, I feel like the build is the crazy one. That's why I feel like it's not that nerfable, but just bear that in mind that it's still nerfable. Unlike the one maybe with the Terminator, because maybe the devs are thinking that the Terminator is very OP on its own. Pincer, Parasite, and then Fishnet. So this is the base Axie that you could do. Let's try to put it at, since we're doing with 32 speed, we need to put it at 5 out of 6. Let's just make it 31 speed for now so that we see the pure ones. All right. So for this one, the options that you have for the back, for the front liner is usually the snail shell. Or if you want to play it offensively, you could go for a sandal, a buzz, a garish worm, or a scarab, right? For your mid liner though, you usually want like more damage. So snail shell shouldn't be an option for you for your mid liner. You would want to get like the buzz, the garish worm. So the way that I rate it is wait, sandal and the scarab. The way that I rate this for the mid liner, I put I put the sandal at the number one spot, and then I mean the scarab at number one spot because it's a range guard. That is for like higher elo or higher like MMR when there's a lot of like gravel ends, right? Or there's a lot of healing. So the scarab might be the top one. and then the sandal might be the top two, the buzz would be the top three, and the garage worm would be the top four. If you are building for like a starter, that's what I suggest. And for the front line, you could opt for the same and just try to include snail shell if you're planning to play defensively. So those are my options for these card bugs. And just bear in mind, you might want to go for 32 speed. If you want to go for 32 speed, usually the one that you need is to put a reptile part on it, as far as I know. Because if you put a reptile part on it, or like, wait, a reptile part on it would make it 32 speed and make it more tankier. Oh, not just a reptile part, but the reptile part would probably make it 33, I think. But yeah, the important part here is to get like 32 speed, such that you're faster than an opponent's plan. That's just the idea behind it. And then the reason why I have like the 37 speed one is because of staggering speeds with an opponent's like bug. So usually people in um like who are wanting to get the most out of their bugs, they put like double reptile part here. I think I also have that. This is a double reptile. This is the tankiest mid that you could get, guys. I'm not sure about the price right now, but this is the tankiest mid liner that you could get, because you get an extra HP from the reptile part and extra speed. So you can also consider that, or just get one reptile part, and I think you're gonna be 32 speed with higher HP compared to this one. So if you go for a reptile part, I think you're gonna be 41 speed here with 32 speed. So you can consider that. And then for the aqua, basically you want like a Pocky, and then if you don't want a koi, you could always go for a goldfish, right? When you're playing with a goldfish, you usually want to play with a Nemo. So basically, when you're trying to build, right, when you're trying to build a backliner aqua, you want a zero cost card there, right? So a zero cost card would include a Nemo, and then if you're using a Nemo, you could go for a goldfish, or you could also go for a croc. That's another option for you. Or if you go for a koi, you could go for a pocky. I mean, you could go for a spiky wing, a hero, or a balloon, but that's more expensive. So this one is the more budget version one. Goldfish, and then a Nemo. So for your mouth, the one that I would suggest you not getting is the Risky Fish. Though it might help you when you're trying to deal like a combo damage for like a Risky Fish and a Pocky, because a Risky Fish and a Pocky would deal you like 105 and then 213. But since you have like double bugs already, I don't think you would want more um, damage for the plant. So another version that I would suggest you get, the Piranha would be good, but I would actually suggest a lamb here instead. So this is one way that you could think when you're building like an aqua with a goldfish. Um, Try to make this 55 speed. Oh, I'm actually on Axie Legends right now. But alright, let's make it 55 speed. So when you take a look at this, the reason why I want the lamb here is for its shield, because lamb provides you like better opportunity for you to brick wall your opponent's attack, right? Because the maximum shield that you could get here is like oh, by the way, this is the flow bot, like where you could like do this. So the maximum shield that you could actually get here is 120. So that's gonna be 132. And in some cases, that would actually help you brick wall some attacks. So that's very important for you, right? instead of having like a piranha here, because a piranha here, or yeah, a piranha here would only give you like 30 shield. Your maximum shield would only be 110. So you also have to consider that when building like a goldfish comp. That's why, in my opinion, when you're building a goldfish comp, try to build around good shield with it, because there's no point of you having a goldfish if you can't brick wall your opponent. Like for example, you have the reason why the aqua right now is kind of bad. Like let's say this aqua, the aqua with goldfish, because I think this is a normal aqua for most people before, for a midliner. The reason this why is getting like difficulty right now playing is because the amount of shield that it could actually make. That's why I feel like this is what I feel like. They might try to buff its shield in the next patch. Like the shield of these cards at least. Because somehow I feel like you should be able to produce like 120 shield out of this when you try to combo it, for this Axie to be good again. But yeah, that is just my opinion about it. So you can just like take that maybe like an advice when you're trying to build around goldfish. Make sure that you could brick wall your opponent when you're building around goldfish. Also, people can also build the the plant version for the Pocky. Mostly people do this. I think this is still good, especially against like poison comps. It's not that flexible when you're playing mechs, but it's still gonna be good. Bravo and then zigzag, right? And then buy this. This one is still good. I think the price of this is not that bad. Ooh, it's actually getting expensive now. But this one is also good. This one has more straightforward way of playing too. Since you don't have like a cactus here, you don't really have to mind that much about speed unless you're thinking about playing against an opponent with cactus. And if you're playing with bugs, it's also not bad if you try to play around with your speed to play with your bugs. Like maybe you want it to be faster than your front bug to avoid fears, or you want it to be the same speed as your bug. So you might be able to play with that. It's, I would say people are just trying to stick with like 31 speed of this if they're playing against I mean if they're playing with cactus. So when you're playing with cactus and serious, always try to be the slowest that you could do. Right? When someone goes into my stream and asks me, is this actually good? And then I see a series with like 34 speed, usually I just tell it that maybe it's not that good because it's so hard for you to utilize the series if you're not that like slow, or especially when you have a cactus, because you don't usually proc the utility of it if you're not that slow. So bear that in mind. And then another one is the anemone. I think we covered the anemone. And another good one that I think you might be like, I actually checked this on stream a while ago. It's the shrimp mech. This is for like experienced or people who actually want to climb, like let's say 2K MMR. The shrimp mech is one of the most flexible one. The mech might be nerfed. I mean the skill damage computation. So I would suggest you guys just change this. You could stick with the pure here, pure one here. Just try to change this with like 57 speeds and like try to maintain 120 damage guards as much as possible. But if not, you could switch to like clamshells or angry lamb, or even like goldfish. Just try to make sure, like in most scenarios, try to get at least one or two 120 damage cards from your aqua, so that you could one shot your opponent's aqua as well with 4 cards. And then for this mech, you could opt for like the hair dagger version. So I think the budget for that is like point like 14 Ethereum. Maybe that's still expensive, but if you're really aiming to be at like higher MMR, that would be the best, I think. It's very flexible. And yeah, just bear in mind that maybe the Arco and the Hair Dagger might be, there might be a chance that it might get nerfed. I don't know how, but since it's overused, they might consider like doing like um who the heck is Arch? Wait, who is that? Anyways, yeah. Bear that in mind when building it because they might they might do something about it at least because it's very good right now. And yeah, if you're planning to build like scholar teams as well, and maybe you're already in the like Aqua or ABPs, I think they're still fine. One like adjustment that you could do is improve those like cards that you have. Like for example, where's the one that I showed a while ago? Like for this one, just try to improve the overall like damage and shield that you could make with your axes, and that's gonna be better for you for sure. Honestly, um I feel like they're gonna fix this somehow. So for those of you, maybe some of you are still like scholars and are playing with aquas or double aquas, um, do not feel like it's the end of the world for you, especially when you're playing. These axes are still good, and oh, I didn't show it on stream. My bad. So these aquas are like still good. The way that I see it is that AAPs and AEBPs are probably the best starter teams because you tend to learn the most conditional wins that you need to do to win games. I think there's so much to learn when you are playing AAPs and ABPs. And yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be afraid of like I mean, maybe I'm just saying this at a perspective that I'm not using it. I'm pretty sure you guys are having difficulty with this. But then again, I feel like if the axes are nerfed, try to improve your skill. Like when I show this, if you always tell yourself that you're already good with this, right? That is the time where you have to tell yourself that maybe I am being gated at this like certain MMR because it's already the team comp and not the skill that I have. But as long as you feel like there is a room of improvement for like this these things that I list right here, just strive to improve more. That's what I always try to say, especially on our scholars if they ask me something. But mostly they are like shy too. So yeah, I just usually tell this on stream. Mm, yeah. Do you want me to expound more? Still, I feel like I was able to share the idea at least on how I could build stuff. Maybe they have like certain or specific questions that might help the flow of the stream.
I have questions, sir.
All right,
And
go ahead.
I'm going to send my team right now in
All
the
right.
X channel.
Uh,
So this one, I just want to ask if what could you suggest for the team? Like, should I change
oh,
some axes?
wait. All right. Let me try to. Did I get black screen again? Which channel again?
English voice text, sir.
All right. Mm, is that the arrow one?
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
The
wait. Is that the one with cherry in the?
kendama, kendama
Yeah.
for the
All
I1.
right. How do
This
I?
one is in season 19. This one is it reached 2.5 mmR.
Oh, nice. That's pretty
But the
good.
highest one is 2.7. I just want to ask if you could suggest something so I could
Like,
improve
like the
the
gameplay
lineup.
or like the lineup itself.
The lineup itself, sir.
All right. So for this lineup, this one is pretty good because if you come to think about it, it has like good energy gain. The problem that I see here at least is that when you're using the turnip, I'm not really sure how much like cards you need to kill an opponent bird. I think you need four, right? If I'm
I
not
need
mistaken.
four. I need four,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, you're right.
So that might be a bit of like a problem somehow because you are committing like four cards, but
Yes.
it's not that bad somehow because when that happens, hopefully the best combo that you could actually dish is like one carrot double carrot. I mean one turnip double carrot and one chump, right? I think that's the best
Yes.
that you could
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But then again, you have like your energy gain on this team is pretty good, and I'm actually impressed that you reach like 2.7k.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I would say you are very good. And one improvement that so let me ask you this question first because you are the one playing this, right? And I want to get like an idea from you.
Okay,
Which team
sir.
comes do you actually face most that you feel like it's very difficult for you at this
Uh,
point?
I think it's the AAP and the Poison
Mm-hmm.
team.
Mm-hmm.
Since Poison teams are good in backdoor, then my Bird and Beast would be dead round 4 or round 5. Then my plant would be alone. So example, it would be one versus two for the poison. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't have and then the poison could stuck on the plant.
True.
So I don't have bidens
Yeah.
to remove that poison. So it would be hard for me to battle with two axes, I
Yeah.
think. And then
So
for
when you
AAP
yeah,
and then
all
for
right, bye, go ahead.
AAP I think the backdoor with koi is the one that makes it difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah.
right. So let's try to figure out the one with the poison first, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
when I see this team comp and when you're playing against poison, it's very important for you to control the pace of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like controlling the pace of the game means that if you were able to skip like a lot of rounds and he was able to dish out his combo, it's gonna be bad for you.
Yes,
So
yes.
what you tend to do in the early rounds is hopefully like in the early rounds, if you can see a backdoor potential, usually try to do that, right? Because if you try to do like a backdoor on your opponent, that reduces your threat. Like let's say it reduces one backdoor to your one of your axes. Hopefully you get the faster one, which is the winghorn one, and you would be able to cover your mech. That's a good scenario for you, right? Or one
Yes.
other approach that you could do is just try to kill the front liner and then hopefully you don't get poisoned and use the egg bomb to somehow save your so usually your win con is your mech because your mech would deal the most damage to your opponent. And at the same time, it's gonna be hard for you to utilize your frontliner. So what usually people play right now, I'm not really sure about the price. Is that one of the most flexible like axis right now is usually the Biden's cattail. Have you seen that? Like the 00 cost card. But
Um,
Biden's
yeah,
cattail,
yeah, by the Scott Tail.
zigzag, and then cactus or beach. Have you seen that? I think that's one of the most flexible things. I mean, axes that people are using right now because they can handle both like poisons and discard comps.
Turtle.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you wanna plan on changing comps, but I think that's a good adjustment for you. If
I was
you.
thinking
Mhm,
when you suggest that plan,
mhm,
it would cost I mean it would be hard for me to generate energy. I think
mhm,
that
mhm.
would be the downside for that plant.
Uh-huh. All
But
right. So,
I was
mhm.
thinking to improve the plant by having it turnip, cattail, serious and prickly cactus. I mean.
Uh-huh. So I would say that might be interesting, but the problem with the one that I said when I was showcasing the turnip a while ago is that when you're trying to do the turnip, usually you want to kill an opponent's like um bird with like three cards only, right? And having like a serious might be that bad. I mean, it's still fine because at the end of the day, if you actually use a turnip with like a serious, it's still fine in my opinion because you could always play with one turnip, one serious, and double cactus, and hopefully get the energy back. Or I think it's still fine to be honest. We're
Mm.
just trying to like maximize everything that we could think of, and here's the thing: when you think about using a cattail with your front plant, and you're thinking about having energy problems because, as you can see here, your bird card doesn't have like a zero cost card, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, one of the things that you can consider when you are playing with an imp like beast or like an imp mech is you want to get cards. Like let's say you
Okay.
want to get like a bone sail, a pumpkin, or um, a cattail. The reason behind that is that you're trying to get
To
like a
draw
Ronin and an
cards.
Aken. Yeah. So that's
Yes, yes.
another approach that you could do when you're trying to build.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and another good thing about having like a bone sail, a pumpkin, or a cattail is that those cards actually try to preserve your frontliner longer.
Mm.
When you're playing with, I'm pretty sure you experience this, that when you're playing with a beast or a mech at the mid, you always try to utilize your plant, right? Because you don't want this to die.
Yes,
Because
because when
uh
the plant dies, it would be easy for them to go inside the team.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is why I think your front plant is not, it's not that bad because you actually have good amount of shield. Like if you check this, holy, the shield that you could actually make is pretty good. So it's still like a pretty good like front liner, I would say. And yeah, I think one thing that you could do as well is I usually tend to go for a backdoor as well. Maybe I'm not sure if you opt for that because I think this one is good. If I'm not mistaken, is this a swallow or what is
Which one?
the tail of your bird?
Yes, yes, early
Yeah,
bird.
is
Swallow.
it the one that deals extra damage when it goes first or something like
Goes
that?
first. Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
right.
it's still pretty good. Um, Another option that you could like try to consider in the future is to actually get a zero cost card here. Or
All out.
what I try to say with people is that when you're trying to play like a BMP or a
Yeah.
BBP
Yes.
is because I played this before. If you're planning to build that, you usually try to play the game faster, right? Because you have a lot of damage.
Yes, yes.
And since you have a lot of damage, you might as well just try to put like a lot of damage on your backliner as well. Meaning, if you're playing with your backliner, you could opt for like a post fight too, so that you could one shot your opponent faster. And then that's why when I tell people that when people are asking, should I offer like an Arco on my mech or my beast, or should I offer dual blade or something like that? The thing that I always tell people is that if you're planning to play like a BMP, the flexible ways to use an Arco, it's always flexible to use an Arco. But if you come to think about the play style of a BMP, you just want to deal a lot of like damage.
Yes.
And when you play BMP, you tend to like you want to play with like a 61 speed bird because a 61 speed bird is like very important for you to like be faster than most of your opponents, right?
Yes.
So like in your like axis, you don't have to change like two axes in my opinion. It really depends on how you want to approach your game. Like one option is to change your plant,
Yeah.
The one that we talked about, I think that's pretty good. The idea that you said is also good. The one with the turnip series, that's also nice. As long as you have the cattail there for card draws, you could also opt for like herbivore or like a zigzag if you want. And
Zigzag.
then another option for your midliners to get like uh an Arco. That's the most flexible one. Arco Hero Hair Dagger or Arco Hero
That
Double
piece.
Knot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that in this like time of the season, we're honestly I feel like the prices of Axis are actually getting cheap. If you kind of notice it,
Yes, sir.
it's a good like investment for you to upgrade some of your Axis because at the end of the day, um it's not like you always want to enjoy the game. That's what I want to tell people. That's why I don't want people to just jump into the game immediately. Because if you jump into the game immediately and you just lose a lot, it's gonna be bad for you, right? I
Yeah.
know when people feel that if you have like losing streak or what. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
why I don't want people to experience that. So another option for you to go to is um I would say try to use like a post fight at the back if you are opting for like no energy gain in front
Mm.
or something like that. You could also
I
offer
see.
that. But I feel like you're not gonna change your beast because your beast has
Yeah.
this like this is a special part, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yes, sir.
this one is actually like a flex when you're playing it, I would say. So something like
Those
that.
axes are in low ID, sir.
Oh, really?
Like
That's very good.
200k IDs.
Mhm. So I would
Yeah.
say you can experiment with your frontliner because your backliner deals a lot of damage, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I think you get like 130% or like 130% damage from the swallow or
Yeah,
something like that. So
130%.
that's pretty high. So I would say experiment on the frontliner. Usually when you enjoy
So,
your midline and your backline, experimenting in the frontline would be a good idea too.
yeah, sir.
Hmm.
So it would be cattail, then zigzag,
Hmm.
and prickly cactus.
Yeah, I think that's the most flexible one,
Yeah,
right? So
I
and
would.
also when you are playing against an AAP, um, usually it's important for you to make your frontliner live longer, like very long, right?
So I need to sustain it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also the important part when you also have like a zigzag in front with like
Yes.
let's say a Biden's and a cattail because you tend to get a lot of shield from zero cost cards, right?
Yeah.
So example, you got like a zigzag Biden's cattail and then you get the most out of it and then you get like a backdoor or the time that you get let's say a double like Ronin double imp, it changes the game highly. So
Yeah.
I would suggest you try that.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your
And
suggestion.
here's the thing, like when you're also like playing with this turnip, I'm not saying that it's kind of redundant because you also have your dark soup here.
Yeah.
So somehow, if you come to think about it, you can take out the turnip in this like scenario too, because you also have the dark soup, right?
Yeah, sir.
Ah,
So you can also
dala kami.
consider that. Yeah.
Ta. Hello, hello, hello.
Is that good?
Hello,
Or
sir.
do you have like any
Hey,
Sir.
other questions with it?
hey, hey,
Um,
hey.
last question, sir.
Uh huh. All right, go
For
ahead.
if ever I would change the bird, I'm planning to change it into reptile with 41 speed, then I would put the beast in the back line.
Mhm.
What would be a good card for that reptile?
So you're planning to make like an RBP, right? Or
Yeah,
RBP
yes, sir, yes,
build.
sir. Yes.
Uh, Usually you would want like a very high sustain there. I feel like I saw people playing that comp, and maybe I think they put like um the tri spike. I think that's
Yeah,
an
spike throw.
option that they do. So Another thing that you could also do is, I'm not sure if you. All right, I'm gonna answer your question here. I'm just gonna try to finish this one first, if it's fine with you. So, another option that you could do is to actually maintain your beast at the mid, and then
Okay.
get an aqua at the back. I mean, get a reptile at the back that would actually carry your game. Like, maybe you were able to see the one a while ago with Tiny Dino,
Anything.
Kotaro, Scaly Spoon, and Bulwark.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty good late game axie, I would say.
Yeah.
You could also consider that if you want. So basically, the important part of you playing that is that your beast would deal the most damage to your opponent's plant, and then just utilize whatever card you get for your frontliner, and then
Can
your
you ask
back
questions?
carry your game in the latter rounds. So you
Okay,
can
sir.
consider that, because I feel like using the mid reptile, let's say if you plan to do like a tri spike one, I feel like it's harder to play, to be honest, because
I
there's a
see.
lot of a condition for you to utilize the tri spike. And when people play that, they usually try to play that as well with a thorny caterpillar, which I don't really like this season. Or maybe planning to get like
Sir,
a
sir.
tiny dino with, which is like good only after round 4 or something like that. So I would
Okay, sir.
suggest you try to use the bulwark and the scaly spoon, and I feel like it's fun too. And
Okay, sir.
one other thing is that you could try to build around with a razor bite, but the Kotaro is a more like straightforward, or like I would I would give more. I'm more confident with the Kotaro rather than the razor bite in that
Okay,
build.
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Alrighty,
answering the questions. Thank you.
sure, sure. Um, mhm, mhm, mhm. Oh, sure, sure, sure. By the way, I stream on Twitch. Let me show you my channel instead. I think that would be good. Twitch. Oh, so this is my Twitch channel. It's DC Boy. I do stream on Twitch every day from 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Philippine time. I usually just play, answer questions, like hang out with people, and yeah, if you want to learn more about the game, I usually just like I just really like hang out with people. I read everyone's chat. I try my best to read everyone's chat, and like yeah, it's like very chill stream. I do stream it on English though, but you can always like type in like English, Filipino, Spanish if I can understand it. But yeah, it's like it's open to everyone as long as I could understand you. And then if you guys also can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter. It's DC Boy as well. You can give me a follow here. Usually I tweet. I don't know. I don't tweet that much, but yeah, I just if you guys just want to follow me here, I'd greatly appreciate that. And yeah, I'm really like hopeful that if you guys could join on Twitch and like help you there, that's gonna be fun. So I guess that's it. Instagram, you can just follow me on Instagram if you want, but it is what it is. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. So as I always tell to like the people when you really want to like wait, when you want something like out of like Axie Infinity, there would be always like good days or bad days, right? And when I show you the list that I have a while ago, when you're playing the game and you're really committed to like winning or like being good at the game, all the factors that you could learn or improve on your like on your end, you should do that. Like I remember, like even at this point, I always try to keep on learning. Like there's a lot of stuff that I know that I could learn more, and like there's a lot of people that you could ask for like opinions, like approach on how you play the game. So the community of Axie Infinity is very very nice. I would say it's very friendly. Um, like try to maintain like positivity with the game. I would say that's what I always say. There's gonna be like tough times for sure, but oh, what is that sound? But always wait. Someone is following me right now. But yeah, always try to be positive and try to brush up all the basic stuff that you could like brush up if you can do it. Um, yeah, and for those of you who are planning to be good at the game, strive harder, especially for the YGG scholars. There's gonna be like a lot of opportunities for you to be like in the like rising stars or in the elite um of YGG. Like you just have to work hard and hopefully like show your manager that you're actually working hard for all the stuff that you're doing, and hopefully that someday sometime in the future they see the potential in you, and that's actually what happened to me. That's what happened to some people as well that I know in YGG. It's really great. It's really great. I think how YGG manages it and how they give opportunities to people. Like, here's the thing. Here's the one thing that I like on like YGG is that they give you an opportunity like to be scholars, right? To play the game. After that, they also give you an opportunity to excel on the game, and that is something that you have to. I mean, not do not take that for granted because not everyone actually does that. If you're given a chance, grab it and do your best as much as possible. So yeah, I think that's what I want to tell people. That strive. Like hard work is very good in this like game. And, mm, wow, wow. Yo, that's good. Oh, oh wow. Um, how? I feel like this is the one that Archer did on the previous one where yeah. Yeah, I actually won the second one there. Wait. I'm thinking of something right now. The first one, since I told you a while ago that I started swimming on December 2020, and I started swimming at the birthday of my dad. Maybe if someone could guess which day in December, maybe that would be the winner. Maybe that's and then I'm just gonna tell who actually wins it. All right, someone got it. Someone got it. So the my dad's birthday is actually December 19. So I think Aero was the first one who got it.
Lucky guess, sir.
Yeah. One more. Um.
Okay pa, thank you.
Uh, what is the second one? Just a mention from you would. Oh my god, who is that? All right. Maybe for the second one, um, the very first person who actually shares the Instagram of Steffi would actually win. Does anybody know it? All right, that works then. Wait, let me check. Oh, it's Facebook. It's actually there, guys. Oh, is there a winner now? If there's a winner, you can delete it afterwards and then tell me the winner. Oh, I think that's the winner after I open the Facebook link. Why is someone sending a link with like a photo? What is that? All right. Oh, is it that one? All right. All right. All good. So I guess the winners for today is Nine and Aero, right? Hey, Aero is actually a double winner. He was able to ask a question and
Yes,
then he
sir.
got the stuff as well. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations to Nine as well. Thank you for sending that link. That makes my life easier. Cherub. There.
So
All
guy, I
right.
watched her YouTube video, the unboxing vid. That's it.
Oh. Anyways, is that for tonight Sil? So mhm. For sure, for sure. Oh, and by the way, before maybe Steffi say anything, I just like to like thank you guys as well for inviting me here. It's been a pleasure to share my knowledge to like everyone. And if you guys are like, I'm pretty sure I haven't like shared much because the time is constrained, and maybe some of you weren't able to ask their questions. Feel free to always drop by the stream. My stream is very chill. I don't even like shout, or like I don't even get mad if I get quitted. I'm very chill. I'm very chill. So I hope to see you guys there if you have more questions. And of course, I'm like very down to do this again in the future. Hopefully, when the new meta comes out, after we do like a lot of like theory crafting, I could share it to you guys as well. And I hope that would be exciting for everyone too.
Hi guys. I was on mute earlier, but I forgot that I was. Thank you so much, DC. Just would like to say I really appreciate your cooperation. For all the knowledge you've shared with us, thank you so much. So, just a few announcement for you guys. So, I am hoping that all of you will be present as well on the next boot camp. It will be on Monday. It will be Crypto Shanks who will host the boot camp, and for everyone that or every anyone that is interested in hosting a boot camp as well, just DM me in my two of my accounts, axu.evo Steffi, and this account is Steffi slash YGG. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, DC, for being here, and I'll just contact you if you want to host a bootcamp again. Okay.
For sure,
So
for sure. All right.
congratulations as well on your YDG merge, and we're looking forward for your unboxing. Hoping that we can see it.
All right.
So
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
that's good night for all of you guys. Good night, DC, and good night,
All right.
everyone. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Good night. Cheers.